So every day, I see, I see people in Massachusetts. I see people here that are having a difficult time, and we all are. And we're having the economy is a difficult point right now. I heard foreclosures are back up again. There's struggles around paying the bills, not only at your home, but in our towns and cities. And what bothers me is that the government has, instead of responding to how can we make the economy better, they chose last year just to raise our taxes. Not that wasn't the first time. I don't know how long ago was it that they raised our taxes temporarily, and then they refused to put them back down. Because what they did was they raised them years ago, and then the government got used to it, and the government grew and grew, and it's gotten to the point where we can't afford it, because there's program after program and bureaucracies and regulations that just add up to too much. We're all trying to struggle. So what do we have to do? We have to cut back. And I understand cutting back is difficult. The problem is when the government cuts back, so many times the cuts hit people that actually do work. And I see it in the work that I do, cuts, what do? They cut the social workers who are actually helping people. They don't cut the bureaucracy. They just barely starting to cut into these crazy pensions that people get who work for the government. And we have to change. So I just wanted to explain to you that what bothers me most, in a lot of ways, is that people who are in government want to call taxes revenue. And I know it's easier to say that. But what is revenue to you guys? Isn't it money that you go out and earn? Now, the government hasn't gone out and done a job to go earn a living. They haven't, it's not revenue, it's tax. It's your money. It's money that they've taken from us in order to do what the government wants to do. And I think our government wants to do too much. So, I would like to get in to be a state senator, because I would like to shrink the government and roll back taxes. Now, I know there's a lot of great ideas that legislators come up with, because they want to do something good. But we can't afford every good thing, because sometimes you have to leave good things up to people, or to private companies, or to charities, that people can donate. But this state has decided that it's going to be its own charity, that it's going to take care of everything for everybody. And it just costs too much. Now, I certainly would rather donate my money to a charity, because I can follow what that charity does with their money. I can pick and choose my charity, and I can say, you know what, I believe in what they do, and I can donate my money. I would much rather do that than put my money into a big fund that uses the money for lots of things that you probably don't agree with. And I think in the long run, I think life would be better for everybody. Because if you tax people less, you'd have more money to invest. Companies would rather come here to run businesses. Because what is it that stops business from being here? Lots of regulations and lots of taxes. The state has made it difficult to run business in the state. Now, I just wanted to open up to any questions you might have. And does anybody have any thoughts?
Yes, sir. What will be your top 3 priorities as a state senator? What skills will you take to the Senate in order to implement those priorities, and how do you expect to be able to do that in a minority party?
I guess I'll try to repeat the question. What are the
Top 3 priorities.
my top 3 priorities?
Top 3 priorities.
What I bring to the table, so how to do it?
How to do it in a minority system?
Then how do I do it in a minority system? Well, I mean, we might not be a minority system. You never know. In the work I do, there's a lot of negotiating involved, and I deal with you know, there's a lot of, you know, I try to win the case for my client. But, you know, sometimes, obviously, sometimes in the kind of work I do, we have to compromise, and then everybody kind of comes out with something. I'm not, you know, I mean, that actually quite fitting with what my skills are, because you know, I'm not really you know, I'm just going to do what I want to do and what I want to do, because I'm going to go try to win and not listen to anybody. I certainly am somebody who listens to people, listens to what their concerns are, and tries to work something out.
And your top 3 priorities?
Well, I would like to work on the business climate in the state, to work on making the regulations for business more efficient, more streamlined, so that you can go to someone in the state and get someone who actually wants to work with you, and not somebody who's just going to stop your paperwork on their desk because they have a thing about that. I want to see it user-friendly for businesses to come here, so that they can come in, do what they have to do quickly, and get their business started. I would like to roll back taxes, because obviously that's not easy to do, because unless you cut back the government, because government costs too much right now. So we have to find ways to make it cheaper. We have to stop giving money to the places that are optional, and really get down to what is the core that the government really needs to do. It just has to take care of its citizens in a way that allows them to be independent, to go out and make their own living, and to work on their own. You know, and what's interesting is that I've had a lot of clients who, you know, have mental health issues like Jen was talking about. And one thing I tell my clients a lot, and maybe this is pushing it, but, you know, sometimes the best therapy in life is getting a paycheck again. And so many times, at least the people I work with, which is, you know, as I work with the people who can't afford a lawyer, I do court-appointed work, is the people are collecting money, and they get the free money, the free food, the free apartment. They get their free medical care. They get everything handed to them, and no one ever expects them to stand up and go do something. And sometimes you have to cut back to get people to realize there's no free money out there. Yeah. Maybe you have to